What is music? It's more than tempo and rhythm in various shapes and forms. Music is the expression of our innermost thoughts and feelings. Some of us take it a step further as a way to balance and a way to move ahead, namely my guest today. He brings people together with his music production and they love it. It's a tough music world out there. With tenacity and dedication, he pursued his love of music and continues to do so through his academic studies and as a professional hobby. Let us be moved by the beat of my extraordinary guest, Karim Ashkar. Hi, Karim.
Hi, Patricia. How are you?
Good, and you?
All good.
I'm so happy to have you here because we've been talking about this for
For
so long, and it's finally coming true. So I want to give a small idea, or why don't you give us a small idea about yourself? Because you're not just about DJ and music producer. So let us give us the whole picture.
I do a bit of everything. I'm very
Right.
uncertain in every aspect of life.
Okay.
Like you mentioned, I just finished my studies apart from doing music on the side. And already my degree gives you a good idea, sums up very well how disorganized my mind is.
Yeah,
I
which
studied, long for PPLE, philosophy, politics, law, and economics.
Okay.
It's a bit of everything.
Yeah.
Because I didn't really know what I wanted to do. And from there, I moved to Europe because a degree like that wasn't available in Lebanon. And during my move to Europe, I took to the electronic music scene, which is not as widely available here in Lebanon, even though it is. We'll get back to it later.
Okay.
But I fell in love, and I decided to move from classical music and rock music, etc., to making electronic music, producing it, performing in clubs.
Okay. So do you think these are very in-depth subjects that you're studying? Do you think music balanced it out for you a little bit?
Well, we didn't really go in depth in any of them.
No, but I mean as tough subjects.
They are tough subjects, yes. Music is a haven to take a break, relax, even throughout writing my thesis in the last few months.
Which is a thesis on?
It's a legal and ethical case study of the music industry with the integration of AI.
Right, okay.
And so this was probably the toughest part of my studies. What I was looking forward to every Friday was going to Goya, playing from 2 to 6 a.m.
Yeah, which is a club.
Having a great time.
Yeah, Goya is a club.
A club in Madrid, where I'm a resident DJ.
Yeah, okay. So you started your music journey as a guitar player and flamenco, I read in your thesis.
Classical and flamenco as a 5-year-old.
How does a 5-year-old get interested in flamenco?
The way it happened for me is a 5-year-old Karim saw videos of guitarists without a name, just a face playing guitar, and thought, well, how cool is that? And decided I want to learn guitar, and then I got steered from electric to classical by my parents and Ma'ahid in Lebanon, music schools, the conservatory, etc., saying, no, you should start with classical.
Yeah.
And instead of doing the 4 years of classical, I ended up doing 10 and then demanding my electric guitar.
Because it's kind of old school to do that. That's the classic way of learning guitar.
It is. Yeah. It's also, I found out later that it is the best way because I picked up other instruments easier through classical training.
So no regrets?
No, not at all.
Okay. And you evolved into DJing and music production. Now, can you explain the difference between the two?
DJing is simply the act of looking for music, digging for records, and playing those records, blending them seamlessly in a club scene, in a club environment.
Okay.
For people's enjoyment so that people can dance.
So already existing songs,
whether they're your own or someone else's.
Okay.
And then producing is a multi-step, I guess, process where you have to write, first of all, in my case, be a composer, write music, and then put that music in a digital format, which is recording, then mixing and mastering it to make it sound professional and loud, and then distributing.
It has to sound loud? Is that one of the requirements?
You don't want it to sound too quiet.
No. But I mean, I thought you can just raise the volume, so there's a certain technique for it to be sung.
There are techniques which I've been learning slowly.
Oh, okay.
Through the help of many figures in Madrid.
Right.
But yeah, it doesn't just come ready out of the box.
Yeah.
There's the need to make it loud and still make sure it doesn't blow off the speakers off of our devices.
Oh, okay. Geez, you learn something new every day. So how were you able to DJ? Because these are like late nights, you know, and it's loud and everything. And, you know, you go back home with that sound in the middle of your head and everything. How are you able to balance that with your studies?
Well, it used to be really tough at first because I didn't know how to go about it.
Yeah.
I would finish uni in the afternoon, stay awake, go play, come back home, and the next day would be a day at home.
Right, okay.
And if I had class, God forbid, it would be half a nap.
Yeah, seriously. Probably sleeping on your desk.
Later, it became easier in a sense that I learned how to manage my sleep. I learned to take a nap in the afternoon.
Okay.
I learned to wear my earplugs when I go play because on the long run I have to conserve my hearing.
Right.
And so I'd say on the long run it became easier. It's definitely difficult and tiring and exhausting, but with the right lifestyle, your son convinced me to start going to the gym.
Because you're my son's friend, just to say how I met you, right?
Convinced me to start going to the gym because I do need to keep my conditioning up.
Yeah.
So with the right lifestyle, it's possible.
Okay, so why music? I mean, you could have went through any kind. You could have maybe excelled in sports or you could have excelled in something else. So why did you choose music? What is music to you?
Because out of any and all forms of art, music I'm gonna say personally slightly elevated. It's a form of art, something I learned while writing my thesis. Arthur Schopenhauer was a very, very gloomy vision of everything in life. He was a
gloomy philosopher, yeah.
Through his talking about the will, which is this, I'm going to say, form of higher being, higher power. He doesn't talk about God, he talks about the will.
Okay.
He says that every other form of art is meant to replicate or depict an image of something that is pre-existing, whereas music is something in and of itself.
It's like a feeling? Is that what he means?
Exactly. Can you describe that feeling or what it is? It's tough to describe music. It's tough to describe the effects of it.
We usually go to music for the music to express what we're feeling inside.
Whether you're playing it, producing it, or listening to it.
Or listening,
So it opens a wide range of feelings to be given and received.
Okay.
Whereas with
sharing?
Sharing, that's a good idea.
Yeah.
Well, Schopenhauer would talk about sharing of energy.
Oh, he did. Okay.
Whereas with dance, I guess, or painting or other forms of art, which I'm not diminishing in any way, but they are meant to replicate things. Let's say for example, a painting, Starry Night.
Okay,
very
from
simple,
Van Gogh.
Very basic, which everyone probably will know.
Yeah.
Is meant to depict exactly that, a starry sky.
Okay.
With obviously the artist's specific touch. But what do you do about music? What is it supposed to depict?
Okay.
Nothing. It's something that has its own image individually in every song.
Vibration, maybe, the vibes, the energy.
Whatever we'll call it.
Okay.
All of that together or just one of those.
Okay.
Meaning that's what it is. It's an elevated form of art and there's nothing that compares, is what I'm going to say.
Can we mention that you were diagnosed with ADHD when you were young?
Absolutely.
So how did music help you with that?
ADHD is tough to manage, especially as a young kid.
Yeah.
In I'm going to say, strict school environment, very strict studies.
Yeah. I want to emphasize that you were diagnosed by a professional medical doctor, because this is a trendy term right now and everybody's throwing it out there.
Everyone has ADD today.
Yeah, exactly. ADHD. Yeah.
No, but my case was definitely milder than others.
Okay.
The way music helped with mine was that instead of turning to more hyper activities, music is
It calmed you down a little.
A way calmer activity.
Okay.
And then different genres of music helped me channel it in different ways. When I listened early on to whatever was on the radio, without an opinion of music, very uncritical of everything I was listening to. It was very bland, nothing to it, no help. In my teenage years, I turned to heavy metal, to rock, which is very high energy,
very expressive,
extremely expressive,
like loud and anger. It's all coming out.
That was a perfect way to let out energy, to release stress, anger, whatever you're gonna call it. As a teenager, should be anger.
Yeah.
Later on, before 18, I was a very straight edge kid, no alcohol, etc.
Yeah.
I turn 18, I go to Europe, I start living, obviously.
Yeah.
And from there,
living on your own.
Also, which there's a sense of responsibility, but there's also that side of it that
freedom.
I would like to have fun in my 20s. And obviously with reason and everything with moderation, but electronic dance music allowed me to channel that ADHD through exhausting my physique through dancing, so that
you danced at the same time?
It's
jumping.
It's called electronic dance music.
Oh, okay. No, but I didn't think like as a DJ that you can do it at the same time.
This is where ADHD has helped me with music, not the opposite.
Oh, okay.
Being able to
so have it's my mind sharing and give and take again. Yeah. Okay.
Back and forth.
Oh, okay. That's awesome. So how about the music scene in Madrid or in Spain? I mean, this is where you're introduced to DJing, right?
Yes.
Okay. So tell us about it. Give us the mood of how the music scene in Spain is.
The music scene everywhere resembles the music scene everywhere.
Okay.
The way places are specific is with not the industry, not the bosses, not the clubs, not the promoters, etc., but the crowd.
Mm-hmm.
The people in Madrid love a good party and are notoriously lazy.
Okay. What does that mean, though? I mean, they come late to a party? What does that?
But it's in the Spanish culture, having la siesta, the nap, in the middle of the afternoon when we're working over here.
Okay.
And then also coming late to parties, leaving very late, going late to work. I'm not gonna say lazy, but they have a very laid back attitude to life.
Okay.
And they approach everything in a festive and jovial manner.
Yeah. Very Latinized.
Extremely.
Yeah.
Also give or take, give and take.
Yeah.
And so I experienced something in Madrid that I have yet to experience here in Lebanon, and it is a crowd that goes strictly to experience good music, have a great time, and not judge what music is being played.
Okay.
They take it as a 50-50, which is what I like to call it. 50% pleasing the crowd as a DJ and 50% educating them.
Oh, okay. So learning something new.
Giving them what they want, but also giving them something new that they might appreciate, that they might like.
Okay.
Because there's a certain pretension in the capacity of a DJ of saying, I have such confidence in my music taste that I'm going to play it for hundreds of people every week.
Mm-hmm.
So since there is that pretension, there's also a responsibility that comes along with it.
Yeah.
Of
you want to please and give them a good time.
Yes, absolutely.
So I guess you were successful with the Spanish crowd?
I was successful with the Spanish crowd. I'm gonna attribute part of that success to the fact that this is where I was introduced to the scene.
Mm-hmm.
So I understood what they liked, what they wanted, but also what was okay to play, what was not okay to play.
Okay.
Was
it ever tough?
It was tough. The toughest part, I'd say, is adapting to a crowd that's not willing to take that 50% from you.
Oh,
teaching.
Right, yeah.
A crowd that strictly wants what they want. And then it's tough to actually enjoy what I'm doing, because then I might as well make a playlist and have you guys listen to it. Today,
okay, so as your creativity, you mean? Like if they might not appreciate
it's a diminishing, I guess it's a bit of an insult to the artist behind the decks. At that point, they're simply a disc jockey, simply at the most basic level of just technicality, but there's no art behind it. There's no looking for records. Looking for records is, I'd say, 70%, 80% of the job. Doing it live becomes very mechanical, spontaneous, repetitive in a sense where transitioning records into each other is very similar. It's the same actions repeated, just slightly tweaked to fit the records. Whereas looking for new music to play that A can fit your style, B can fit the rhythm of the night, C can be appreciated, mostly generally, is the toughest part of the job. So them fully neglecting that part and requesting the same songs over and over is the hardest part for me.
Yeah, so you want to just try to push them to think a different way or to appreciate something new, maybe.
I would like an open mind.
Yeah.
Is what I would
so
like.
As you having an Oriental background, did you blend a little bit of the Oriental music into the more westernized music?
I'd say I tried on two different levels. On my productions, first of all, with my first release ever, my first record called Zakhrafat. Zakhrafat was an electronic dance music record.
Yeah, you can hear it on all platforms like Spotify and
Anghami, go stream Zakhrafat.
But you have to say it's Mosaic. It's not under your name.
It's Anghami and Apple Music, please fix this. It's about time, but they do not allocate songs to the right Mosaic account, which is mine. There's multiple artists called Mosaic, and currently Zakhrafat is attributed to an evangelical rock band called Mosaic. Okay,
we'll put the link to the song exactly in
please.
Okay, we'll do that.
And so on that record, which was my first record ever, seeing as I still don't have a sound that I like to produce strictly, something that I do very well, that attracts me and that people enjoy from me, I try a lot of different things. And on my first record, I tried incorporating Oriental elements, tried making an 8-minute long track, which is very long, slowing it down in the middle, having a friend of mine, Leah Shalhoub,
she sang
on the record. This was the first time I tried to incorporate Oriental elements into my music. The second instance of it was in Madrid when an Egyptian promoter and I started running an Oriental night, bi-monthly, I guess, where we would play original Arabic music, Oriental house music, etc.
What was the crowd like?
Out of 23 tables in the club, we used to sell 22 to Arabs.
Strictly. Okay. So
they knew what they were coming for.
Right, okay.
But it got to a point where we were having trouble providing enough entrances because Spaniards started loving the night. Italians and French started absolutely loving the night.
Oh, that's great.
Moroccans, Algerians, they would try to get it, but the Arabs would be too quick to buy tables and entrances. So
that's great.
We started a very popular night, which was then shut down by the club for reasons we won't go into.
Okay. So who inspired you? What other DJs inspire you or music producers?
What other...
I mean, there's somebody...
There's a few, but it's always changing because my style is always changing. And so I'm constantly finding new inspirations, new people I look up to, new music that I enjoy listening to. For instance, when I first started, this artist called Monolink, very commercial, extremely mainstream house music. Monolink used to play his guitar, sing, play live instruments while he DJed, which I took after a lot and started doing that in clubs, but not as regularly and as a main act. I would do it as a side gig for my own pleasure.
So with your guitar?
With my guitar, sometimes with drum pads. Sometimes with the microphone. One night we did a release party for Zakhrafat. The following night after it released, and we gave Leah a microphone and she performed it live, and that was beautiful.
Yeah, it gives a little bit of flavor.
Yeah, it distinguishes the night from every other club night in Madrid, which is Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday. Only Monday is a non-go out night, and yet there are clubs that open in Madrid. So to distinguish the event, it added a bit of flavor.
I'm gonna come back to that, how they all like to go out all that night. But I just want to ask you a question before about AI, because you're talking about creativity and everything. Do you think AI will ever take over?
I believe it can.
Oh, it can.
But I believe it won't. For the simple reason that the minute AI takes over is the minute the last creative person dies.
So in a robotic world, kind of
in
thing.
a robotic world, as long as there is one creative person on Earth, as long as there is one creative human being, then human creativity is preserved.
You think human creativity is always one step ahead of AI? Maybe?
Not necessarily, because human creativity isn't something we can quantify.
Right.
Whereas AI is, so I generally couldn't give you an answer. But I believe as long as there are humans being creative and making something out of that has the human touch, it should definitely, at least in my eyes, be valued more than a standardized product. Because at the end of the day, AI making art it falls under Theodor Adorno. He was a philosopher, also a religious person, I believe, who criticized the culture industry. Means of...
The commercial part, you mean?
No, the means of essentially making chain productions of art pieces. For instance, IKEA Persian tapestries. I could buy one for cheaper than a McDonald's meal, but the reason I don't is because it has no flavor. There's no, there isn't a human.
The soul didn't go into it.
The soul that goes into it, exactly.
Yeah. Okay.
So the minute, as long as there are creative human beings, AI cannot take over human creativity or kill it.
So you don't fear AI, because a lot of people are scared of it.
I don't fear AI.
Okay.
But I'm also more open to it as a producer, because I can use it to my advantage in many ways. In actually writing music, because AI is capable of doing that today, which is the part I avoid, because human creativity.
Yeah.
In producing music, because it facilitates a lot of the tedious tasks that go along with producing that
routine,
I don't want to be doing.
Yeah.
The reason I would use it to my advantage is to avoid hating my productions by the end of it, because then it'll simplify the process of
less time
in making a song that I've already written, that already exists, just isn't concretized.
So now I'm gonna go back to the nightlife in Madrid, because recently there's a video that went viral on social media about the top 3 countries or cities or whatever that have the best nightlife. And Spain came number 2, right?
Yes.
And Lebanon came number 1. So what are your thoughts about that?
Well, I believe that nightlife in Lebanon cannot be topped, because look at Lebanon today.
Yeah.
A country that has been through so much.
Yeah.
Yet the one thing that did not change is nightlife. The one thing that keeps going strong is nightlife. I want to say it's slightly dystopian because of the situation. That
to be realistic about it.
To be extremely realistic. Even though I am proud that we're capable of keeping this attitude, it is still slightly dystopian.
Okay.
But look at Maram Khail, look at Waterfront today.
Yeah.
All of these areas that have been made into nightlife hubs, essentially, in Lebanon, that run 2-3 times a week. Concerts everywhere from Baalbek to Byblos, etc.
Yeah, all over Lebanon.
All over Lebanon.
Right.
This tiny country that holds so much culture and showcases it through so much of its nightlife.
Right.
Whereas, I'll take it, Spain, obviously a prime destination for tourism, etc. But it's not as, I'm going to say, diversified as it is here.
At the nightlife, you mean?
Yeah, the nightlife is, I'm going to say today...
So this is kind of like our tourism in a way.
It is. Yeah. It is. It's a massive part of our tourism as well, I'd want to say. Let's look at, for instance, Madrid as a sample of the nightlife in Spain as a global. The club scene is divided between Spanish and Hispanic genres of music.
Okay.
And then electronic music, but there's no middle ground. Whereas in Lebanon, Maram Khayyam Street alone has tens, 15s of bars that, and each have their own sound, their own music that's playing, their own style.
Yeah.
It's very individualized. It's very different. It's very different. Every 10 steps is a new vibe, and then wherever the night takes you, the saying takes life in Maram Khayyam.
Yeah.
Wherever the night takes you, I'm gonna walk 10 steps. This bar sounds great. Whatever, 10 more steps. This sounds even better. I'm gonna stay here.
Oh, okay. Are you gonna be performing soon here?
I'm gonna be performing at Katastrof Badaro.
Oh, okay.
A bar, which I don't really enjoy playing in bars for the simple reason that give and take. I want a crowd dancing. I want energy back.
Yeah.
I don't want to feel like I'm
the good mood.
Yeah, there's always a good mood, especially even in bars.
Yeah.
Spaniards have a saying like, very similar to where there's alcohol, there's good mood.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I don't know exactly what it translates to, but
okay. Say it in Spanish.
No, I don't know how to say it in Spanish.
Okay. I thought you meant that, yeah.
And there is a good mood in a bar. It's just there's no dancing, there's no movement.
Right.
I'm there basically dancing on my own.
Yeah.
Playing records.
Okay. I see fun. What you mean. Yeah. Okay.
It is fun, but it's also not ideal.
You just have to get them to like start dancing on the tables, around the tables or something.
Hopefully that would be the plan. But I also found myself in a predicament where I'm preferring playing in Lebanon on nights that aren't necessarily packed or very lively.
Right.
Because when the night gets lively and there's a lot of crowds, bar owners, club owners tend to request very commercial grade music.
Oh, I see. To please everybody, right?
And it goes back to what I said. The crowd in Lebanon, I believe, me personally, is less open to education on the part of the DJ.
Okay.
Than the crowd that I've experienced in Madrid.
They go for trends.
Where they are stuck in trends constantly, and it's the next trend and the one after that.
Okay.
And there is obviously that scene of underground music where people who are seasoned in the nightlife or seasoned in electronic music go and let the DJ do 100% of educating, and it is somewhere I want to reach. Obviously, this is the place beyond the cave.
That's what you aspire to, yeah.
This is the place beyond the cave, but to get there, I have to go through the masses of
one step at a time.
Please play this. Please play that.
Yeah. So where do you see Mosaic in the future? Where do you see Karim in the future?
Well, where I see Karim near future is my master's. I'm going to pursue my education at IE in Madrid. I'm going to do computer science because it's versatile and I still don't know what I want.
Okay. That's tough.
It is, but I have a background, so I think I'll be fine.
Okay.
And then from there, I think I've come to terms with the fact that there is no perfect world after graduation. There is no here I am with best-selling records and immediately making music. So I know that I'm gonna have to get a job, a regular job, live a regular life.
Yeah, because you're not like making
be a superhero, put on the suit, make music, go play clubs whenever I get to, with the hopes that at some point the project will blow up, the project will take grandeur and become something, and then I can fully give into it. But until then, it has to be master's work, and I'll definitely enjoy it. I'm someone who I believe fits easily into situations. I get used to things.
It's a competitive world, and it's not easy to make it there. So,
which is why the attitude I'm choosing to adopt is don't worry about it.
Okay. Take it as you go.
Take it.
Enjoy the journey.
One step at a time,
yeah. So Remy, my son, he wanted to ask you a question. So let him ask it.
So we were talking that you don't enjoy listening to the khafat because you listen to it so many times. I wanted to ask you if usually artists listen to their own songs and vibe on it, enjoy it.
Well, I'm not going to be pretentious enough to say that all artists... I'm not going to be pretentious enough to speak for all artists, but I'm going to say that me personally, I don't. because it takes so long to make in the studio, and I listen to it so many times over and over and over, that it's such a repetitive thing that it's not so much that I don't enjoy the song or that I don't love the songs. I love the songs, they're my products.
Yeah.
That took so long and such hard work, but it's something I don't want to kill them.
Right.
I feel like I want the song to live on.
You don't want to overplay it in your mind.
Yeah, I still want to be able to, a year down the line, play it and be like, that's nice, I'm happy with what I did. Not have to say, damn, I don't want to listen to this anymore ever again.
Is this where like AI kicks in when you said about the tedious tasks, where it would help you in that sense, or not really?
I think it would. I think it would help facilitate the process and make it shorter, so that the time between me writing a song, the basic composing of it, and then releasing it, distributing it through platforms, is short enough for me to still enjoy listening to my productions.
Okay.
Right after.
Yeah.
So I hope this answers
your question. Yeah. Okay. So one last question, Karim, which I asked each one of my guests. What makes the ordinary extraordinary?
What makes I should have watched your podcast before this.
No, it's better to be spontaneous about it.
What makes the ordinary extraordinary? Extraordinary things are things that we pick out of the ordinary. I'm going to say, and it's very subjective what you decide is extraordinary, what I decide is extraordinary. Obviously, there are objectively extraordinary things, but rarely are there objectivities in the world. Most of the things we discuss in life, we experience in life, encounter, are subjectives.
Yeah.
And so what makes the ordinary extraordinary is what you feel, what you decide is extraordinary, what you appreciate, what you enjoy, what you love.
So the feelings,
emotion.
Yeah. That's great. Thank you, Karim, so much for joining me today. I hope you enjoyed it.
I really, really did.
Yeah, me too.
Thank you for having me.
So we're looking forward to hearing some new music production.
Hopefully very soon.
Great.
I'm stuck in I don't want to release this isn't good enough phase for a lot of records, but hopefully
we always self-doubt ourselves, but I'm sure it's a lot better than you think.
Hopefully it will be.
Thank you so much, Karim, and we're looking forward to a lot more from you. See you soon.
See you.
See you.